Hey there tamers, a few days ago Palworld had its latest patch update 0.1.4 with the Xbox version 0.1.13. The Steam update went live a few days earlier and the Xbox One has also been updated. The updates are the same for both platforms. Also, if you already didn't know, Palworld recently partnered with Xbox and Pocket Pair Games to help bring dedicated servers and a lot more stability, which is going to help bring out patches sooner and keeping the Xbox version up to date. So really great news for the console players or people like me who bought the game on the Microsoft Store in order to be able to cross-play with console players. The latest patch fixed a lot of issues with pals getting stuck in bases, not working on what you want them to be working on, breeding changes, and a whole lot more. We're going to be going over everything that you need to know in this video, so let's get into it. This personally never affected me, but apparently there was an issue that if your pal or the pal that you had on your base got to 30% HP or less, it could be captured by using a sphere. This is no longer going to be happening, so those players on dedicated servers can finally have a sigh of relief. They're also fixing an issue where enemy pals would get stuck in walls due to charge attacks, which was annoying because it would prevent you from catching them or damaging them, so I'm glad that's no longer the case. Next up, they're fixing a crash and a save data corruption. Apparently your save data could get corrupted if you and your guild captured more than 7,000 pals. This will no longer be a thing, and I don't know how people were catching 7,000 pals, as it seems wildly excessive. A great quality of life change was made to player issues where if you were carrying too many items and became encumbered, you can now move at an extremely slow pace rather than being stuck and unable to move. This is great if you accidentally used your grapple gun and were 2 inches away from your storage box. You no longer need to make adjustments or drop items to transfer ore, wood, and other things. Next up, they fixed an issue where if you used a memory reset drug to reset your skill points, it would also reset your capture power that you got from the Lift Monk effigies. Personally, I never really used this, but getting effigies is a time-consuming process, so I am glad this is fixed. They also fixed an issue where armor could be equipped in the wrong slot. I didn't know this was a thing as I never really tried to equip armor in different slots, but there are definitely videos out there showcasing this. They made some quality of life changes to breeding, specifically that if you had pals who are assigned to a breeding farm, they will not become hungry and their manual assignments will not be removed. This means that if you assign pals to the breeding farm, they will no longer get distracted or have to leave the pen for food, reducing if not eliminating the chance they don't come back to breed. You still won't be able to breed pals that are injured, sick, or depressed, so make sure you cure those things before breeding them, but they shouldn't gain any of those status effects after you have assigned them to breed. One of the big changes is the rate that fire spreads on wooden buildings and walls. This has been reduced. I have seen my entire base crumble when I initially started the game and didn't know this was a thing, so it was pretty crazy when it happened. It's not too much of a problem later on in the game as you most likely are going to be using stone or metal, but definitely does help early on. They're improving the manual work assignments for pals at your base. More often than not, I would grab a pal who I wanted to assign to do something, so I'd pick them up, throw them at it, and they just wouldn't do it. This fix should make them better at doing what you're throwing them at, or at least assigning them to do so. In addition to that, they're also adding multiple measures to prevent pals from getting stuck in your base and fixing an issue where pals would get stuck while transporting items and would just drop them on the spot. They're also fixing pals that would cut down trees that have already been cut, so that shouldn't happen anymore, as well as pals dying due to random and unexplainable fall damage. They've also fixed pals randomly floating on top of buildings and items. A lot of the time I would go to my base and I'd find pals just stuck on top of random things and I'd have to reset them, so I am glad this is fixed. And finally, they fixed an issue where if a farm was built on the second floor or above, work pals would be unable to move on the floors below. Overall, a fantastic set of updates and bug fixes, and I'm really glad they're working to improve the quality of the game. The game is already in a great place when it comes to enjoyability, but there are some things that definitely need to be addressed. And I have high hopes once they have smoothened everything out, they can then focus on adding more content, new pals, and all of the other good stuff they have planned. The future already looks bright for Palworld with over 19 million players and rising rapidly, especially with Xbox partnering with them, as it was the third highest grossing game on Game Pass of all time, and the game definitely has a lot of potential to expand and go places. Let me know what you think of the changes in the comments below, and as always, if you enjoyed the video, drop a like, subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.